Greetings, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am just finishing up the last part of a story in one of my little sketchbooks. So I'm just going to make kind of like a title page, I guess, if that's what you'd like to call it. So this would be kind of fun. Now, let's see what we can do. So I hope everyone had a wonderful day and that you got to do some art somewhere along the way. Something artsy, because that's fun. I try to always carry a pen and little scraps of paper with me, because sometimes it's just fun to not have to bring out my cell phone to take a picture of something. Now, photography is a beautiful art form, and one that I admit is not really in my wheelhouse. There are people that take wonderful pictures. I am not really one of those people. So if you are, that is awesome. But no, not really my thing. Now, once again, although I don't always do it this way, I'm doing this without a pencil pre-sketch of some kind. I have an idea of what I want, so I don't think it'll be too complicated. But as I said, a little later I'm going to, well, maybe I didn't say this, but anyway, my plan is a little later I'm going to read that story and then upload it from this little sketchbook, and that should be fun. So what I'm kind of aiming at doing here is kind of a top-down view. Of someone who is the star of the little story. And just silly kind of stuff. Not a serious story. I don't plan on doing too many serious things on this channel anyway. I think people in their everyday life deal with some serious things, and I think it's good to talk about those serious things. But here we're just going to take a break from some of those serious things. And if you have pen and paper, you can tell from the length of the video how much time you can draw with me, or how much time you can spend drawing with me. can pretend to have a little conversation with me if you wish. Like, for example, hey, how are you? Wow, it's been good to see you. How was your day? Really? Well, that's interesting. Tell me about it. Really? Okay, so it's not really like having a conversation with me. Maybe I didn't pause long enough. So if you need me to pause longer, I guess you could just pause the video. And as with most of the things that I do, if you wish, you can go into the settings of YouTube and you can change the playback speed. And you can see this kind of happen a little bit faster. So you can change how quickly I'm drawing if I'm drawing too slow for you. Because I know there are some people, they like to watch videos of these things. But I plan on doing as much real time as possible. Now, as you can see, drawing somebody with a little crown. And as I said, this is kind of a top-down view. And when you have a perspective like this, things kind of start to look a little smaller. That's kind of funny. There's certain cameras that will kind of exaggerate that, oddly enough. Now, some of you have been following me since Inktober. Some of you might be new. You can come back anytime and hang out. We can do some artwork together. You could almost say, if you really wanted to, that this would be almost like one of those doorbell cameras, but not a doorbell camera, like a camera that you keep above the door. And this person is coming back into the house after playing outside and in puddles. Let some more hair out. Now this is the fun part. You have to kind of use your imagination because it's going to look silly. What would the rest of the person's body look like from this kind of perspective? That would be the thigh and the knee, little calf muscle, socks, and the shoes. A little bit of shade on that side as well. That looks kind of silly, don't you think? Now we're just filling in the crown a little bit. So this person is a princess. A princess that likes to play in the mud, play outside. That's funny. And going back to some of my semi-fancy writing. Now I know a lot of people don't read cursive, especially this kind of cursive. But I think it's very important to maintain a knowledge of it because so many old documents and agreements are signed and written with pen and ink. And I think we should be keeping up with the art of it. of course you can type into a computer or your cell phone, and that's all right too. You can spell check things. Goodness knows I don't really enjoy making spelling mistakes. I certainly don't. I don't. I really don't like making spelling mistakes. But it's okay if you do. It's tough to move past when you do it with pen and paper. But you can even fix that too. You have to prove that you're human every so often and not just find, the bicycle and the crosswalk, which those are funny. Trying to figure out what road signs are. So it's at this point you can tell me a little bit more about how your day has gone. Chances are I'm not going to misspell my own name. It has happened though. When you focus on what you're doing and then talk at the same time, you're using kind of different parts of your brain. And there's nothing wrong with that. Well, this video is not going to be lasting too much longer. Now, what kind of writing are we going to use for this next part? Let's do a version of this. Now, I should say, I'm pretty new to YouTube. Of course, I've seen it before. But I've only been on it, making videos, since the beginning of October. So as I said, I'm new to it. And chances are you're not really going to hear me say, please subscribe. But I think it would be fun if you did, and perhaps even shared it with a friend. And just for fun, you can make a comment if there are certain things that you'd like to see we attempt to do. So for the most part, a lot of this stuff I might be learning at the same time as you, and we'll do this together. By no means am I an expert in any of this stuff. I just like to draw pictures. Sometimes I get paid to do it. Sometimes I just do it just to pass the time. That seemed easy enough. And it doesn't look like I made any spelling mistakes. So that is cool. All right, well, I think that is it for now. Stay tuned for this story, and let me know in the comments what you think of it. Just a quick little story anyway. There you go, kind of a top-down perspective of a princess in her crown. So that's kind of fun. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Get some rest, and we'll see you again in the near future.